We have a massive health crisis in this country. The obesity crisis is really legitimate, and it's terrifying that it's so prevalent and that no one's doing anything about it.
We have the sickest population in the history of the world. Half of our nation's children now are overweight or obese. We've got about 1,000 chemicals in our food supply that have been banned in Europe and Canada. And sometimes companies like Kellogg will make two versions of Fruit Loops, one for Canada where these chemicals are banned and one for the United States where they're not.
This is the brightness of the Canadian version, and this is the brightness of artificial food dyes. So, of course, Kellogg and other food companies will argue children prefer this.
In Canada, these are the Fruit Loops, and it's colored with things like carrot and beet juice. And here, they're all artificial food dyes.
Why is that? What's
money? And the answer is because it's more profitable, because kids are drawn to it more.
These companies know that if they keep the brighter colors here in America, American children will eat more of that product.
Our food is being tainted by dangerous chemicals, and it's making us sick.
The millennial generation was turned into a science experiment without our informed consent for the sake of enriching big pharma, big ag, and big food.
Most people don't know that what they're consuming is making them sick. They know junk food is bad, but they don't realize it's causing chronic disease.
So we've got to start talking about the root cause of our chronic disease epidemic.
The CDC estimates 6 in 10 Americans are living with at least one chronic disease.
Early onset cancer diagnosis has gone up 79% in the last 30 years. We all know someone. My friends, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, colorectal, in their 30s.
Ultra-processed foods are probably the worst thing to happen to humanity in terms of sheer numbers of people getting sick, lives lost. Probably worse than either World War I or World War II.
Watching these videos makes me feel kind of queasy. My tummy gets all sorts of butterflies. I don't know if my stomach is happy or if my stomach is sad to hear this kind of truth. If you're new to the channel, my name's Lillie. I'm a certified nutrition health coach who's on a mission to help as many people possible stop eating processed junk foods and start eating more single ingredient, real whole foods. As I've personally experienced myself, and I've seen so many other people as well, reverse health through food. When I was eating more processed junk foods, I, like everybody else, thought, well, it's really no big deal. It's fine to have pizza every week and have a taco night and eat chips and have cake and just be eating these things constantly. I thought it's no big deal. I would say things like, live a little. But in reality, eating these kinds of foods do contribute to me living a little. I wasn't living my longest, healthiest, best quality life. I was having more UTIs, yeast infections, acne, dandruff, more fat, more inflammation, more joint pain. I was getting sick multiple times a year, more mental health problems, depression, anxiety, fatigue, low energy, sugar crashes come the middle of the day, less confidence. And this was all stemming from the food that I was eating. And so many of our friends and families, neighbors, and people across the world are being pushed to eating these kinds of foods that are altering their brain chemistry, impacting their mood, the way that they look, the way that they feel, and it makes me so sick to my stomach. And I'm glad that people are finally talking more about it.
Millennial moms are seeing the same drama play out for their own children, but on a far greater scale. They want to raise healthy kids, they do. But where can they go for info? The studies are bought and paid for by the food companies. They look for unbiased info on the news, but that's funded by Big Pharma. These moms' pediatrician had less than a day of nutrition training in all their years of medical school. They don't even know what seed oils are when they ask about them. Children today are about 20% more likely to develop type 1 diabetes than they were 20 years ago. Childhood cancer rates are rising a percentage point every year. Asthma is up, so is ADHD, allergies, virtually every type of psychological disorder.
Many people who follow this channel probably don't know that one of the reasons why I was inspired to create a YouTube channel in the first place was because of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is the most popular YouTuber with hundreds of millions, maybe even a billion followers across all of his different platforms. And when I was first exposed to Mr. Beast's videos, he was giving away houses, cars, money to strangers. And I could see the pure joy that these people were receiving from this blessing that he was giving them. And I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to bring people happiness and joy and inspiration. And then you can imagine my disappointment when I saw this week that Mr. Beast has launched his newest product, Lunchly.
Because obviously so much obesity and disease comes from the stuff we eat.
Lunchly versus Lunchables. Turkey stack 'em. 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better ingredients.
We're not biased at all, but ours is way better.
They're using pure hydrogenated soybean oil. Hydrogenated soybean oil is literally a trans fat. You've taken soybean oil, which is already probably oxidized and not exactly the best, and then you're making it into a trans fat by hydrogenating it. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to me why a product that's supposed to be healthier would blatantly be using one of literally the most documented ingredients when it comes down to like visceral fat accumulation and just not good for metabolic health.
In the press release announcing the product, Logan Paul was quoted as saying Lunchly is a healthier alternative and that it's a better for you lunch option compared to Lunchables. And because they fall into the category of ultra-processed foods, they aren't healthy to consume often, period. Studies actually show that those consuming high amounts of UPFs can have up to 50% higher risk of developing obesity, and some specific UPFs are linked to increases in cancer.
Over the years, Mr. Beast has launched chocolate bars, burger joints, and now these Lunchly boxes in an effort to capitalize on kids' health.
In 2023, the food market for kids was $137 billion, but has a compounded annual growth rate of over 5%, which puts it at over $250 billion by 2030. That's huge, right? So no wonder they were taking advantage of this.
Which you can imagine, again, my disappointment being someone who years ago saw him, was inspired by him, wanted to be like him, and now am definitely not thinking that. I was considering making a video comparing Mr. Beast to Bill Gates, as both of them were initially in the tech space, got so much money from it, that then turned their tech ability into let's create food products for people, and it just, no, it's not good.
The entire product is ultra processed and nutritionally crap. There is no nutritional value in any of this. All I see is poison. Where's the lunch part?
I will say what gives me hope is 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, if you would have said that ultra processed foods are poison, people would have said, okay, that's an exaggeration. It's not actually poison. And nowadays, well, sure, if we don't want to call it poison, we can call it a slow poison. Regardless, it is not good for you, and it is slowly making us sick, obese, diabetic, having autoimmune conditions, having depression, being on several medications. Whatever you want to consider something that makes you feel that way, then call it whatever you want to call it. But regardless, it's so awesome to see more and more people saying this message.
Most people out there that are drinking regular soda and they're eating candy and bread and French fries cooked in seed oils, you're just poisoning yourself.
They hit us with a GMO and the glyphosates and poison us so that they can dominate us.
We poison the food supply.
You guys are the only ones covering this. This is not a partisan issue. I don't know what the hell is going on, but all of these other media outlets that are politicizing health and making it partisan should be ashamed. It's despicable and disgusting, and you do not use the health of Americans to be divisive. It's reprehensible, and I cannot commend you enough.
If you're like me and you're trying to find ways to lower your stress, be more relaxed, and stay in your own lane, then things that have specifically helped me are listening to Joe Dispenza, Neil Donald Walsh, and Eckhart Tolle. These three, they fill my body with peace, joy, and love. What I like to do in the evening is put on one of their podcasts or audiobooks and lay in my infrared sauna blanket that I got from Bond Charge, who is today's sponsor of the video. What I love about this sauna blanket is it can help soothe my muscles. The heat increases blood flow and improves circulation, reducing muscle soreness, chronic pain, and can improve cardiovascular health. Overall, during this fall time and the winter, it's so woozy and cozy, and it just makes me so relaxed in the evening time and helps me fall asleep like a baby. Infrared sauna blankets can improve skin health and stimulate the body to naturally detox by sweating out heavy metals and other toxins. It's genuinely just a really nice product because it's very calming, but also health promoting, can help with clearing the skin, help with burning fat, our metabolism, improving circulation. So there's a lot of benefits to using an infrared sauna blanket. But then on top of it, I like that I can just store it up nicely and put it away so it doesn't have to be out and about in my living space. And so if you'd like to check out the infrared sauna blanket, there's a link in the video description where you can get 15% off, or you can use discount code Lillie for any of Boncharge's products. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, on September 23rd, 2024, there was a Senate roundtable in Washington, D.C., where so many people came forth and shared their experiences with food or their research with it and why, we should be changing our food supply in the U.S. and giving people real food that nourishes them. But it was really inspiring for me to watch these videos. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna come of it or if anything's going to change, but I do know that you have the power to change on your own, and you can help your family today without needing anything to happen in the Senate.
The next generation of children is predicted to not outlive their parents if we continue on the trajectory that we are currently on. Who cares about politics if the next generation is dead or close to it before they can even vote?
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that 100 years ago, people were healthier. There was less diabetes, obesity, autoimmune conditions, depression, and what were people doing differently? Well, they had different food. Things like goldfish and Oreos are very new inventions. They didn't even exist 100 years ago. And to hear that the children nowadays may not even outlive their parents, yet we have all of this technology and medications and things to help people live longer. Sometimes I think that these medications sure help people live longer, but not live better quality lives. Right now, we're either making people sicker or we are helping them live longer through medications in a more sick, defeated manner.
Big food corporations have a vested profit motive in getting you addicted to their highly processed junk food and keeping you addicted. So they'll have all kinds of commercials talking about smiles and love and family and happiness. They don't give a damn about any of that. They just want your $5. And then you have another big enemy, which is Big Pharma.
Big Pharma, medicine, Big Ag, they don't give a damn about the amount of pesticides they're shoving at us. They just want to make money. They don't give a damn about the ultra-processed foods they're shoving down our children's faces in school and at the grocery store. They just want to make money. And then the doctors make money on the back end.
I honestly feel the more I watch these kinds of videos and talks, the more I want to wear a tinfoil hat, and I think I'm becoming a conspiracy theorist because I genuinely don't understand why ultra-processed foods are pushed on people, because I can't accept that it's just for money. There's so many other products and things that people could make where they could generate money that doesn't have to go at the cost of our society deteriorating in their health. The more people who are sick, the more people who can't think clearly, the more unproductive our society becomes, the less humans are able to reproduce. We have rising rates of infertility, PCOS, low sperm count, less people are able to have children right now. So what's going on? Because I just can't think it's, we want money. And so that's why we're going to slowly make our lifespan, health span, and the quality of everyone's life go slowly down. Am I a conspiracy theorist? I don't know. The reality is we can change all of this, as every time we spend money, we're voting for someone in some company to be able to take our money and create new products or do more advertising and marketing. And so just be aware that every time you're spending money, you're voting for someone.
I don't think we just have a calorie problem on our hands. We have a nutrient quality problem on our hands, and we have a marketing problem on our hands. Because if we continue to just promote these kinds of things, we just contribute to the poor psychology and eating patterns and behaviors that are the root of the issue to begin with. It's not just about the foods. It's not just about the calories.
We can reverse this, and we can take our health and our lives back, and it really just comes down to us.
When we stop buying their Fruit Loops, they will change and they will give you the healthier formulation.
Please, if you support this message, share this video with family and friends. Subscribe to this channel as it helps this video get pushed out to more people, and together let's reclaim our lives and health back. If you're looking to talk with someone one-on-one about how to start your health journey, how to get rid of these processed foods, how to create a meal plan that will nourish your family and your life, then there's a link in the video description with my coaching services. I do talk with people one-on-one and help them reclaim their health. So if you're interested in any of that, there's a link in the video description to my coaching services, and I can't wait to connect with you. I hope you have a happy rest of your day, a delicious, a nourishing, and a very joy-filled day, and I'll see you in the next one.